Let's open the book on this. Today in Austin, Tesla's hidden secrets come to light in a shocking new lawsuit. I'm Leah.
And I'm Garrett. Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett, coming to you from Austin, Texas.
First up, Lillian Brady, a Tesla employee here in Austin, says the company withheld crucial information about a man later identified as a mass shooting suspect.
All right, let's set the stage for this one. Tesla, the electric car maker, runs Gigafactory, Texas, just east of Austin. That's their massive manufacturing plant. Lillian Brady started working there in January 2023. She alleges that in December 2023, she was assaulted at the factory by a man named Ndiaga Diagne, who police later identified as the suspect in the March 2026 mass shooting in Austin. He was killed by police during that incident. Brady says she pursued charges after the 2023 assault, yet she did not receive Diagne's name from Tesla until February 2026, when Detective Joshua Garrison, the detective on her case, confirmed the identity to her. She has filed a lawsuit against Tesla, accusing the company of not keeping the workplace safe and of withholding information she believes was important. Big picture, this raises corporate responsibility questions. What duty a company has to protect its workers and be transparent during internal investigations. It's heavy stuff, and the timeline is what makes people's eyebrows go up. You know?
Real talk. The lack of transparency here just does not sit right with me. There are disputed accounts of that 2023 incident. Brady alleges assault, while Diagne reportedly said he was frustrated about access to a prayer room, which is a space set aside for religious observance. Still, withholding a name for that long, why? Like, honestly, why keep a key identity from an employee who says she was harmed?
That's a solid question. The public reporting doesn't spell out why, and Tesla's response to the handling of the incident has drawn criticism. Another detail that stood out to me, during the 2023 incident at the factory, there were deputies outside, yet Diagne was not immediately apprehended. That's surprising, and it adds to the scrutiny over how the situation was handled on site. Bottom line, we've got safety, communication, and process all under the microscope.
Keeping it real, we'll be watching how that lawsuit moves forward because it touches the heart of workplace safety and trust. Okay, let's move on. Next up, NTSB reports on the deadly I-35 pileup from March 2025 reveal major failures by multiple parties. The NTSB, that's the National Transportation Safety Board, the independent federal agency that investigates serious crashes, released documents showing failures by the driver, the trucking company, and Texas DPS, the Department of Public Safety. The driver, Solomon Weldekil Araya, was issued the wrong kind of commercial driver's license, which is the credential that qualifies a person to operate big rigs. The company, ZBN Transport LLC, had multiple safety and regulatory violations, and according to the documents, lacked formal safety structure or even documented hiring procedures. That is, frankly, a dangerous setup on public roads. This crash in March 2025 killed 5 people, and Araya was later released on bond in April 2025 after being charged. The NTSB's findings underscore the need for strict regulatory compliance and oversight, steady supervision and auditing to make sure rules are followed. When those layers fail, tragic outcomes follow. We can't let that slide.
Yeah, that checks out. One detail jumped out at me. The truck had a dash cam and a safety monitoring system, but they weren't operational during the crash. That's a big miss. I'm with you on the need for tighter guardrails here. Not political, just common sense. If we're going to share I-35 with heavy freight, the basics like proper licensing and working safety tech have to be non-negotiable. Let's switch it up. Community leaders are calling for a rename of Cesar Chavez Street amid new allegations tied to the late labor leader, Cesar Chavez. Here's how the renaming process works in Austin, in plain terms. A proposal can be initiated, often by a council member or community request. It goes to Transportation and Public Works for review. Then there are public hearings, so neighbors and stakeholders can weigh in. The city council has the final say, and if they approve it, they pass an ordinance, which is just a formal city law. One key wrinkle: police, fire, or EMS can object if a change would cause confusion for emergency response, and that can block a renaming. It's a layered process to balance community values, safety, and logistics. A historical note: back in 1993, El Concilio, a local coalition of Latino community leaders, led the effort to rename First Street to Cesar Chavez Street. So Austin has been through this conversation before, and it's never just a flip of a sign. It touches identity, history, and how the city wants to present itself.
That's close to the heart of it. I appreciate that the city builds in space for public input. It keeps decisions grounded in what neighbors actually live with day to day. And that surprising piece you mentioned, even if a council member backs a renaming, police, fire, or EMS can block it if they think it could mess with 911 routes and response times. Safety has to be crystal clear, even while we debate names and legacy. All right, on to the next. Vice President J.D. Vance is in Austin Monday for a Republican National Committee fundraiser, and that means rolling road closures near the airport in downtown. Here's the quick traffic rundown. Starting Monday morning through Tuesday morning, expect delays around Austin-Bergstrom International Airport and in the downtown core, with specific closures hitting Cesar Chavez Street at times. These are rolling closures, meaning they move with the motorcade so they can pop up and reopen quickly. Vance is stopping through Austin as part of a set of events that also includes Dallas and Nashville.
Yeah, that's a curveball for anyone heading to work or the airport. Why do these visits shut things down like this? Basically, it's security protocol. The Secret Service coordinates secure routes and timing. It's necessary, but it does ripple through the city. If you can, leave extra time or consider alternate streets off the main downtown arteries. I'm down for that small planning move to save a big headache. Last up, Delta Airlines is expanding from Austin with nonstop flights to Phoenix and more winter service to Bozeman, Montana. Here are the nuts and bolts. Starting November 2026, Delta adds twice-daily nonstop flights from Austin to Phoenix. Then, beginning December 2026, Delta will run daily winter flights to Bozeman. These routes use Embraer 175 jets. That's a smaller regional plane with Wi-Fi and in-seat power. Strategy-wise, Delta is clearly growing its Austin footprint to connect Central Texas with both business and leisure hotspots. And looking way ahead, once airport expansion wraps in the early 2030s, Delta plans to control about 15 gates at Austin-Bergstrom. That's a serious sign of long-term commitment.
That's so wild and honestly pretty convenient. Phoenix helps for work trips and sun-seeking. Bozeman in winter screams ski season and Yellowstone access. And that 15-gate detail, that's the surprising part to me. It signals that airlines see Austin's growth as steady, not a blip. For travelers, more gates usually mean more flight options and, fingers crossed, better schedules. Thanks for tuning in to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett from Austin.
Have a great day, and we'll catch you tomorrow.